I'm going to call the meeting in order, Cindy. Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. This is the Community Preservation Committee monthly meeting. Let me go ahead and read the remote participation text. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, suspending certain provisions for the open meeting law, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate and alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom meeting ID number 840-0877-2826 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager, at atm@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100 prior to the meeting. All right, so like I say, I'm going to call the meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for showing up an hour earlier because we will have our forum at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to try to make sure that we all have a chance to break and then come back for the forum. So can I get anybody have any questions or corrections or whatever for the agenda? And if there are none, can I get a motion to accept the agenda as written?
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as written.
All right, that's Colleen makes the motion.
Seconded.
Julie seconded. All right, since we're remote, we're going to go ahead and do a roll call. Julie?
Yes.
Jess?
Aye.
Barry? I gather that was an aye. I saw the head shake. Okay, yeah, it's okay.
He's muted.
Aye.
I know
Sorry
he
about
is.
that.
Yeah. Colleen?
Aye.
All right, and the chair says aye, so the agenda is approved as written. Next is the approval of the minutes for April 6th. I did not have any corrections. As always, nicely written. Jess, thank you very much. As I always say, I'm going to be lost without you, so don't you dare leave. Okay, never mind. Does anybody have any corrections, admissions, or anything else with regards to the minutes?
I do not.
No? I can have a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
All right, Barry makes the motion.
I'll second it.
Colleen seconded, so let's go roll call. Julie?
Yes.
Barry?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
Colleen?
Aye.
And the chair says aye, so the minutes have been approved as written. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo.
And
Yes.
we, did everybody get a copy of the executive session minutes for that same date?
Oh, I forgot that. I'm sorry.
I got those.
Yeah, I did get
did
them.
them.
I did not see any. I didn't
So
see any corrections. Yeah.
If there were no changes, we can vote on it. If there were changes that required discussion, we'd have to go back into executive session.
Okay. I did not have anything. Does anybody else?
No, I don't either.
All right. Nope. All right. Then let's go ahead and take a motion to accept the executive session minutes as written. Can I hear a motion?
So moved.
All right, Julie
I'll second.
and Barry seconds. All right, roll call. Julie,
Yes.
Barry,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Colleen,
Aye.
and the chair says aye. So both regular session and the executive sessions have been approved. Excellent. All right, the only correspondence really that I do have, and I know sooner or later we will be getting another invoice from Jen, but not right now. But the correspondence I did receive is I've been I've been invited to speak at the Rotary on May 18th for the individuals there. And it's going to be at the Bull Run at approximately, I think it's 7 o'clock. So I've got like about 10 minutes to go ahead and talk about the CPC. And I'm looking
That's
forward
the
to it.
Rotary Club?
The Rotary Club.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Ayer Shirley, I gather it's called Rotary Club. I'm looking forward to it because many business partners in town do have questions with regards to CPC funding and such. So I think that that's an awesome time to be able to speak to them, to let them know where, especially in Ayer, where those additional dollars that they, good because of the different tax rates, where it goes. So I'll have, like, say, different types of slides to show the success stories and such. So I think that would work out well. You'll see some of, like, say, the slide presentation that I was going to do at town meeting. And that's going to be at the forum today, just to talk about what's happened over, like, pretty much in the 20 years of some of the projects, how we've collected money, how we've spent money, and what we have still in the coffers. So I think that will work out really well. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'll let you guys know how that turns out. So, and that's really been it for me. How about you all? Is there anything else that you have received? Nothing? Okay. All right. And moving on to the agenda, the current business is the town meeting results. Awesome, guys. All right. Thank you so much for everybody who did, who was able to show up and be there. Again, I watched it on television from the comfort of the couch as I was fighting my fever. And with that, I know that it was all 6 articles pretty much were voted in unanimously. So thank you very much for all the hard work prior to all this and such. And let's keep, this momentum moving forward so that we get to go ahead and continue making a difference and trying to preserve the town. Did anybody have any feedback with regards to public meeting, the town meeting and how it went? Or did anybody have any questions that someone may have asked them that they want to discuss? No?
It was an
gather-
interesting town meeting.
It was definitely interesting for sure.
Let a dog in.
Go ahead, let the dog in. We'll take a pause for a moment because I know that was bad. I know, and this is now on tape. It's like, but yeah, I think, what do you call it? I'm glad it only was one night. Like I say, I feel bad for Beth because they may end up going into a third night in Sudbury. So, and it's like, oh boy, but all right. Well, if there isn't anything else, I know we want to keep moving on because there's a lot of things that we want to discuss for new businesses. I thought I had sent I only did up 3 grant agreements. One for Peroni Park, one for the Air Library, and then the other for DPW. I did do them up as draft form, and again, I thought I sent them out, but I didn't. I used the older format, which is still just the 2 pages, and it doesn't have all the legalese of whereas and such. Because one thing that, there was some other correspondence, because one thing that Beth had noticed is that during the construction of the athletic field, when they were doing the demolition and everything else, and they did the groundbreaking, CPC was not invited, as well as nothing was mentioned in the newspaper article that CPC funded part of this project. So I did speak with Dan Gleason, and he is willing to go ahead and he got in touch with everybody saying, make sure that you add us within any of the publicity, as well as put up a sign on the fence there. So I did order some additional signs that says CPC funds at work, and I just have to pick them up tomorrow from J&S Businesses Systems. And with that, that was, like, say, some of the correspondence with that project. And I realized afterwards that I followed up with Robert on the memo of understanding, as well as a grant agreement, to make sure that all this is incorporated within, again, when you get the funding, that you do publicize that CPC or CPA funds have been used for this project. So that's one thing that is highlighted within those 3 grant agreements. I will send them out to you guys tonight, so that you have them, and then we can vote on it at the next meeting. But again, I just need to find out does anybody know who the interim library director is? Like, who might be, I mean, Samantha hasn't been returning any of my emails, so I need to find out, you know, I could probably just call over there, but I just didn't know if you guys knew of anybody who's the interim director now that Tim is gone.
I'm just
I
looking.
thought Sam was acting as it, but that's just based off of what I'm reading on the library website. And she was there today, so it might be worth a phone call just to see if that's getting mixed up.
Okay.
I think she is too, Janet.
Okay, Samantha is, okay. Sounds great. Maybe that's the reason why she's been so busy. Okay. Believe me, I think we all understand that. All right, no problem, because I just need to put somebody's name there. And I've got Dan Van Trollick for the feasibility study, as well as I got Jeff Thomas for Peroni Park Playground. So that's it. And is there anything that you guys want to discuss with regards to the grant agreement? I know that that's something that we need to bring up to Jen Golson on reviewing those grant agreements to make sure that we've got what we need in those. Anything else? No? All right.
Crickets.
Okay, is there anything else for current business that people want to bring up? If not, then we're going to go ahead and move on to new business, which is a discussion about some open space and land. Before we go into, some of the other parcels that might be available to us, and Jess, I'll let you keep your thinking cap on whether or not with, with conservation. But one question that came up after town meeting that people were bringing up to me is the concern of the article where they were talking about the well water, the new source for the pumping system or the pumping station, and how it's over off of Nemco Way. And on how Dan stated that that was one of the best places that they found to go ahead and be able to put in a pumping station. I don't know. Some people were asking, whether or not CPC funds can be used to purchase some land to make sure that we do have other spots available should we need to go ahead and have, like, if all of a sudden something does happen to a well system, to be able to have something like that. I told them, it's like, I really don't know. I don't know how to, pursue it, of having a sit down conversation with Dan. That's who is our DPW director. But let me get your feedback. I mean, again, I don't know if everybody, when they were watching it, I know that that was a concern, and it ended up going, I think, to a count vote for that one item in the article, and the concern with regards to PFAS and such. So what do you guys think?
I think, myself, I think I can trust Dan. I think this town is really aware or sensitive to the PFAS, and that's why they're putting in the new treatment plant and upgraded the other one, Grove Pond. I think they've been really diligent, to me anyway, and I would trust their judgment, but I don't know. I'm not an engineer, so I would have to just trust the DPW judgment, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, no, I can see where you're coming from, Barry, because it's true. I'm not a land connoisseur. I'm not an engineer and such, so I don't know. But I almost would like to make an offer to him saying, if there's anything that we can do to help, I think, to reach out to us. But again, I don't know if anybody else had any conversations with individuals with regards to that concern.
My question would be whether I mean, I agree with Barry, but my question is also whether funding something like a water source would be in the same category as maintenance.
Oh, no, no, I understand that. I think if anything, it's like more of continuing purchasing open space so that it's available. So if the town wants to purchase it for, you know, it's almost like no, I can't say putting a lien on it, but, you know, having it available. So should it need to be available, the town could purchase it to do a water source, you know, that type of thing where, you know, again, we don't really have the resources either being CPC, but it's like if there's anything that we might be able to help with, I don't know.
Or
It's,
how would we know what land to purchase? You know, in case they needed it.
no, understood.
You know,
It was just more like blocking off land for being open space. And
Okay.
then, you know, it's just, and no matter what, it's still making sure that we do have open space available
Mhm.
for, you know, for items. But again, it was more of, you know, a concern, you know, that, that people were stating afterwards. Because if this was the only spot, and like I say, people were, you know, concerned that it was Nemco Way, but I kept trying to explain to them that that's still close to where we get our water source, because our water source is Spectacle Pond, which is right on the opposite side, pretty much of Nemco Way. Correct, Jess? I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I,
Um,
you know.
Yeah,
So it's like, you know, it's in
Yeah.
that area.
I would just worry, we're starting to take on a lot more projects. I think this one is sort of out of our, way out of our lane. And unless there was I wouldn't, just marshaling our own resources.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
if the town had a need or found something or heard about it that way, you might mention it to Dan, but I wouldn't put a lot of energy into it right now.
Okay, all right, all right, that sounds good. But I wanted to let people know that, you know, individuals did come up to me afterwards. And pretty much again, like I told them, I said, we really don't have the resources other than to block off land for open space. But if it ends up being something that, you know, can be used for a pump station or whatever, the town would have to, you know, purchase it back from us because it's no longer considered open space. It's considered town-owned land for that purpose. So, but
And
again,
Yeah,
pardon?
certain land, if it's purchased, say if we ever find some land to purchase with the conservation fund, you can't just sell it back.
Oh, no, understood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Oh,
then
yeah.
it becomes state regulations, Article
Yeah.
27, et cetera.
Right, because with the conservation fund, you have to have it deed restricted. It definitely can't do anything else, so. All right, but I wanted, you know, again, to go ahead and discuss that. And Jess, did conservation discuss anything about that open space on the spot that's available on Groton Harvard? On the other side of Fletcher's Pond, or not
Um,
Fletcher's, but
We just
Flanagan?
discussed it briefly. I don't know if anybody's seen the for sale sign for waterfront. It's a 0.29 acre lot. From the road, there's some spots closer to the road that look pretty wet. At any rate, I did send a letter certified to the Realtor, return receipt requested, which came back today, just saying, hey, you know, you need to know, you know, any buyers doing their correct due diligence to make sure that people are aware there are wetland limitations on this lot for development, i.e. we passed a new bylaw a few years ago and our regulations now say undeveloped land within the first 50 feet of buffer zone can't be developed without a waiver from conservation. And that's an undeveloped lot, so that first 50 feet can't be used. It's a small lot, and 350,000 sounds a bit on the ridiculous side.
And you're saying that it's appraised at what, 135 or something like that?
I don't know the appraisal.
Oh, all right. I thought that there was like two different prices, and maybe it's just in other discussions. But yeah, I mean, is that something that Dan may be looking at with regards to,
Um,
in the
For
public
Flanagan
access.
Pond access. I sent you, Robert, and Dan all an email about that. Yeah,
Mhm.
about that parcel. I haven't heard back from anybody, so.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. You had
Yeah.
COVID.
Oh, okay. I'll use that as the excuse.
Get off. But I mean, I think everybody's been wiped out with town meeting and stuff. But I think my first task was just letting the realtor know that if a buyer says, hey, are there any restrictions, they have to disclose it, or they have the information to disclose.
Okay.
And we have proof that we gave them the information. So,
All right. All right. I'll go ahead and I'll follow up with an email to everybody,
Okay.
just saying it would be nice to go ahead and, get further information on it and see whether or not Dan may, have the consultant look at that parcel as well.
yeah, I would have the consultant maybe take a look at it, but I wouldn't, until that happens, I wouldn't expend any money on us paying for, say, an appraisal.
Okay. All right. I have not heard back from Robert, who is in discussions with the assessor to go ahead and look for the appraiser of that other parcel that we talked about in executive session. So as soon as, I will probably stop by tomorrow and put my face inside the office because sometimes that does work better. So I'll be talking with him hopefully tomorrow and see what that status is, because I do want to get that started, especially because we want to use the funds from last year's administrative, not this year's. So we want to get it going before July or June 30th. So, all right. So I think that's it. Anything else with regards to open space and land? I noticed that Pauline has joined us. Pauline, we were just on with new business discussing about open space and land. I didn't know if you had anything else that you may want to bring up to the committee.
Pauline is muted.
I know she is.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to say something, do you want to unmute yourself, Pauline?
Maybe
Okay.
she's away from the iPad.
Yeah, she might be. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next item in the discussion, which is the Air Affordable Housing Trust and Air Commons. This is the property that is on that is planned over on Fitchburg Road, by where the flag property is for being purchased, and that's where a affordable housing units. I think there's 106 units that are going to be going in there. Some of them will be Section 8. All of them are going to be affordable so that they will be based on income. And they want to go ahead and talk to the Housing Trust and Housing Committee. So I'll let Colleen take it from here because she wanted it on the agenda.
Yeah, so Alicia, if you have anything to add, feel free to jump in. Alicia had actually brought the Housing Trust an update at our last meeting. There was a little stall in the project. I think they lost their project manager, but they're still committed to the project, and I think might be coming to our next meeting to talk to the Housing Trust and the Housing Committee a little bit more about putting in a request for some CPC funds to go towards the project. And so the Housing Trust had asked me to bring a few questions to CPC at our next meeting, in advance of when we talk to Noah again. So one of the things that we were talking about was how much to suggest, how much might be a reasonable amount for Noah to ask for towards the project. And I think one of, we were kind of throwing around 500 to 700,000 for the request, and we wanted to get some preliminary thoughts on that from the committee as to whether, that's a reasonable amount to aim at. Is that within kind of the scope of what we would have available as a committee?
When you're asking for what they were going to be asking the monies for, is it going to be to help purchase the land or to help build the property? Do you know?
Well, so that was the other question, was in terms of what parts of the project could CPC funds be used, right? So we can put the money towards the building of the property and building of the units, right? Creating affordable units would be within the scope of the work. So is that more what, because I think obviously that amount isn't going to cover the entire project by any stretch. And so in terms of drafting an application to think about where the money should be earmarked that CPC could.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah.
CPC funds can be used to purchase land. All right, but go ahead, Jess.
No, you can continue before
All
I.
right. Okay. But always remember that we're not like some of the big towns or big cities that have gone ahead and purchased lands. You can even do a bond where what will end up happening is the funds that come back in for community housing then get used to pay off the bond. So instead of building more, you end up funneling it so that it does that. So you can raise even, more money other than what's inside that category for community housing or whatever we have. I say that with caution because, again, I come from Springfield, which is bond heavy, and it sometimes hurts more than it does help. So with that, you can use it to purchase land, but always remember that if it's used for that, there may not be funds to go ahead and help build. So when I state that, okay, we have approximately $2.5 million in our our kitty, which is the different categories plus the reserve, and this is including like open space and such. With that, that's it. So if we reduce that, then again, we are at 3%, so that will get, funded faster than when we were at 1. And I know that more towns are taking advantage of CPC, so I think that there are over 200 communities that now are CPA communities. So that's again smaller slice of the pie. I'm just stating where it's like, okay, it would be great to be able to do, like 500,000. But what might we have available then if they needed it for building? So that's my concern. So go ahead, Jess.
Okay, then the concern I have with using it for purchase is, I know there's some issue with the purchase price being higher than the appraised price. And I believe there's an issue with municipalities paying more than appraised price. So if this was going into that, that would be, I think, potentially really problematic.
Right.
I can do
Yes.
research on that, Jess.
But I think the state also, I mean, I think some of the issue was the state ran into an issue with paying more than the appraised price. And so the state funding would definitely have to be within the appraised limit, and I think we'd be bound by something similar.
Right.
So,
And again, we will learn a little bit more from them, I think, when they come to our meeting to talk through the project. But just in terms of thinking about where to put the request or suggest to them what a reasonable dollar amount would be, and we'd be aiming to bring it, I think, to the fall town meeting for funding. So in terms of our timeline, what we had talked about as the trust was encouraging that really we would need like July to have a proposal ready so that we could bring it, for approval and then to a public hearing. Does that sound like we're kind of correct in our thinking on time frame?
Right, because if they go ahead and they give us like, say, a pre-application or July, August, we can review the application itself. September will be the public hearing because October is the town meeting.
Okay,
So, right? So,
so we'll aim
yeah,
for a pre-application by July, full application by August, public hearing September.
correct.
Again, Alicia, do you have any other updates since what you brought to the Housing Trust in terms of timeline? Are they, have they made any progress with
You did a
working
great
out
job
the-
of presenting that. Thank you, Colleen.
Oh, no problem.
Just, we have been told one thing that we're not quite understanding why we didn't know that this was a possibility, but maybe that Noah didn't know it was a possibility. There is a possibility we can get a waiver on the appraisal price. And one of the reasons that the appraisal price is a problem, the appraisal and the purchase price is a problem, is because it kind of mucks up some of the other tax credits, monies coming in, and we want to be able to maximize all the possible funds that can come through tax credits and everything like that. The tax credits are where you get your Section 8s also. But now we're being told that there is the possibility, it's a rare possibility that the state would consider a waiver on that appraisal, not lining up with the purchase price. And Alan and I are working on that because we're going to help Noah write and ask for letters of recommendations from town committees, from state legislators, from all sorts of things like that. So we're going to be mounting that in the next couple of weeks to see if we can get that, because that will really change the whole dynamics of everything. It'll make it less difficult. And originally I felt pretty strongly that if CPC was going to support it, I think they'd want to be supporting, you would know better than this, and this is why I'm glad you guys are talking about it, through the building of the actual units, not the purchase of the land. But
Correct.
I didn't know if that's how you guys saw it or anything like that. And then that the money would come at X, Y, and Z when certain parts of the project got done. But just you guys starting to think about it, it's great. If we can get the waiver on this appraisal, that would be great.
When will they
And that
know,
is-
Alicia?
What's that?
When will they know?
Well, we were like today, we got an email that actually DHED has broached the whole subject with them now. And so we're now sitting down. Alan's been trying to reach out to the person over there, the lawyer over there, about wording, and they're a little short-staffed, so we're having a little bit of problems there. But I don't know when we'll know it. Hopefully we'll know it before they come, even with the preliminary application for you guys.
Okay,
So
right.
we'll just keep you posted on that.
okay. It's nice to know that this may be, coming to fall town meeting. So I think that works out really well.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I didn't mean to butt in or anything, so, but.
No, thank you. I knew you had more info than me, so.
Well, it just came in today, so we're getting there slowly.
All right, Barry?
Yeah, I mean, let me make sure I'm on. I would probably feel more comfortable if I knew whatever CPC money was going to be granted, that if somehow we figure out how it could go towards the affordable housing portion of it. I don't know if that's.
Well, I mean, all of it will be affordable housing.
The
All
whole
right.
project
I
is
thought-
106
the whole project
affordable
is?
units.
Oh, okay, I misunderstood. I didn't realize that the whole project was affordable housing. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All
Thank you.
100, all 106 units
Oh, wow,
will
okay,
be,
great.
income adjusted. And I think there's 8 units that, I'm sorry, there'd be 8, Section 8 or something like that, where these are vouchers that are, or these are units, so they stay within Air. It's not like it's a voucher that an individual can then take and move somewhere else, correct?
Correct, it'll be, those 8 units would be at 30% AMI.
Okay.
So that's for extremely poor, you know.
Right. Yeah. All right. So does that help, Barry?
Yeah, it does. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. That I didn't have my ears all the way open, I guess. But
No.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Anybody else have any questions with regards to Air Commons? All right, anything from the public? All right, I'm gonna move along because like I say, I want to give us a little break before the forum. Is there anything else underneath new business that people would like to discuss? All right, hearing crickets. I'll go ahead and do committee reports. I'll just start off air housing. I did not go because of being under the weather. So I don't have an update. Conservation?
But we will be, Heather Hampson is going to be joining us as our new conservation agent as of June 6th.
Nice.
So, and that's our big news. So,
All right, that's good. That helps you out. All right, congratulations. All right, planning?
Well, we'll be losing Heather Hampson. But we're very happy for our town and for her. These are good things. The only quick thing I have is we're doing we're trying to get site walks in just to kind of see how things are going in progress. And we're mentioning each time that we'll reach out to conservation to see if they want to join us. And the only thing we have before us is a site plan review for the Grateful Dog. A woman she owns a business and she's doing a food truck, and it will be on 2A and on Littleton Road. And it's kind of fun to just think of something different, but it's also causing us to really think through what we haven't thought of, because it's a kind of an awkward process because it's meant for buildings, not food trucks. And anyway, that's what we're talking about.
All right. Well, hold on a second, Julie, before you put yourself on mute. With regards to the food truck on Littleton Road, can you give us approximately where that will be? Is it in Jarvis's old lot or something, or?
It's across from the condos. I'm trying to think of the name of the condos, but it's roughly
Okay.
50, it's roughly 51 Littleton Road, or right near it if you want to look at it.
Okay, all right, just wondering. That'd be awesome. That's one thing I miss with working in Cambridge. You know, you had so many different food trucks all around that you get to have a variety every day, even though you probably shouldn't be spending that type of money. But all right, that's nice to hear. It's like good. By the way, I've got people questioning. I don't know if it's called Panther's Place anymore, but across the way from the high school, how many houses are going in there?
Hold on, I had a kid interrupt me just as you asked. So Panther Place across from the high school, that is 30. No, that's too many. 1, 2. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that.
All right, no problem. It's like,
Less
oh,
than that. It's
25.
less than that. Yeah, 26
it
was
was-
in my mind, but now I'm starting to wonder if
That was in mine too.
yeah, so I think it might be 26, but I don't know if that includes the 2
duplexes that are there.
families on the main part of the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, just wondering. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Barry, anything for historical?
Actually, we're gonna have a meeting next week. That way we'll get updated regarding the surveys, because all the Form Bs are supposed to be completed in May. I'm just not sure of the date. So I'll be able to find out how many as of next Wednesday. Yes, the 11th, we have a meeting. So I'll get updated, and as soon as I'm updated, we'll be updated.
All right, excellent. Colleen, anything else with regard to the Housing Trust?
No, the Air Commons and the preparing for town meeting were the two big ones, so that's
Right.
it on our
All right, excellent. Okay, like I say, Beth wishes she was here instead of in town meeting, so we'll put that little slot in there for her. She wishes she was here giving her update. All right, so that's it really, I think for committees, before I go ahead and ask for an adjournment, is there anything from the public? No? All right. Again, I'm going to go ahead and remind people, or remind you all, that we do have the virtual public forum today at 7 o'clock. And with that, over 122 surveys have been filled out. So we will get an update on that in our June meeting, plus an update with regards to the feedback that we get at this webinar. Again, it's done as a webinar so that there's feedback. There'll be like, group discussion, but, questions and answers that you'll be, I think, clicking on certain buttons and whatever. So with that, we'll had an update on that for in June, and then the draft plan will start getting created at the end of June, where we'll be able to discuss it in July at a regular CPC meeting. And then there's going to be a public hearing still scheduled for August. And that public hearing will still be virtual via Zoom, again, because all this was assigned during the pandemic. So if we do meet in person, it'll have to be some sort of hybrid. Because I don't know if, as of June, we've got to start meeting in person, I believe.
July 15th.
July 15th, is it?
But I was going to ask,
Thank you, Jess. I was
we
gonna
have,
chime
we
in
have
there.
the,
I'm sorry, Cindy, go ahead.
I said, thank you, Jess. I was gonna chime in with the same thing.
yeah, July 15th.
Okay.
But the question is, do we want to continue with Zoom in our June meeting?
That's what I was just gonna ask. All right, I think, again, it's been working out well, and because all our meetings with Jen are Zoom anyways, because of that's how we signed the contract, because the contract got signed during the pandemic. I think we, should continue being Zoom, and then this way here, people can call in and such, should they have concerns and such. What does everybody think? Thumbs up?
Yeah,
I agree. Since they're going to be on Zoom and that's going to be a big focus to the next meeting, I think it's much easier for us all to be on Zoom.
Correct. Okay.
Let's keep asking if we can extend it even longer to the state, to the town. I don't care. It's helpful.
I was going to say, you're talking to somebody, who, like I say, just got over COVID. So with that, I can understand.
But I guess
Matt,
that does bring up a question, and maybe one that we should consider. Is there a way to request a waiver, given that this was established and we're going to have a public hearing in August, that they're going to have to be on Zoom? Since the process started when we were remote, it's all taking place remote. Is there some mechanism for our committee, at least, to request that the August
I'll
meeting?
ask.
Yeah,
I'll ask.
I mean, just given the logistical, of it needing to be hybrid, it just seems so much less cumbersome to have us all.
And also
in the
too, I
same-
think, I think hybrid's only done really for select board, but we can double check. I will ask, and I'll let you guys know at the next meeting.
Ask Cindy on the hybrid.
And it's the preference of the board members that are all serving our town.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna chime in again, but I didn't want to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right now, we're only doing hybrids for the select board mostly because we've got new equipment and, we're trying to work out the bugs on that, but I believe last night, everything was perfect. And I know the Board of Health is having a meeting on the 23rd and they've asked for a hybrid. So I'm gonna do that for them. It just means that I need to be there on site.
Uh,
All right.
Right.
Well, like I say, we'll see what
Very
ends up
close.
happening and see if we might be able to get an extension. you know, for
It'll
August.
probably extend it anyways. They've extended everything for the last 2+ years, so.
All right. Okay, I want to give everybody, you know, a chance to have a breather before the public forum. That public forum, for those who are listening, you received, if you, when you registered, you will go ahead and click on that webinar website, not this website. Okay, so you have to exit out of this meeting to join that other meeting. So with that, make sure that you go to the email that you got from, like I say, when you registered, it will go ahead and give you your confirmation for the Air Community Preservation Public Forum meeting. So that will be a separate URL. All right, if there's anything else, can I hear motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, Colleen made the motion.
I'll
Someone
second.
All right, Barry seconded, and then all in favor, aye?
I
Aye. All
Aye.
right,